Everybody get your picks ready. It is $10, $100, $500, and $1,000. Those are our tier levels, budget levels for what we're about to do, which is what we are buying in the month of May.
That's right. So we're going to go through each of these levels. If you do like this video, by the end of it, click like and subscribe. That's a great way to support the channel. With just the click of a button, this is what we'd buy. So what we have here is we're going to go through 10, 100, 500, 1,000. And this is if you had money burning a hole in your pocket, you had to spend it on MTG cards. What would be a good thing to spend it on that's either going to be a good staple for your collection, but ultimately something that we think is going to hold its price or appreciate in value over the years, right? Essentially, if we take care of our MTG cards, that's what makes this game so attractive, right? Is if we take care of our MTG cards, then most likely they're going to be worth more than when we bought them, and we're going to be able to play with them, have a great time, and then possibly sell them for more in the future.
Yeah,
so
even past an investment opportunity, these are all just really good entries. We think that if you make these purchases, again, nothing on this channel is financial advice, but if you make these purchases at the levels that we're talking about now, they're good entries. We're not going to be suggesting anything at 10, 100, 500, or 1,000 that we're like, this is at an all-time high. Buy. That's not what we're doing here. So, Jake,
for sure,
you want to kick us off here at your $10 level? I got TCG Player open. We're doing this live. Chat's participating. Chat, go ahead and start dropping your $10 levels. Jake, what you got for me at $10?
All right, so I've already seen some people saying it, and it's funny because I have Raffine's Tower Showcase. But really what this is this would be whichever Capenna Triome that I don't have that I want.
Right.
Okay. And so any of these right now in the showcase frame, and spoiler alert, my first two levels are related to these lands here, so everybody get ready to flame me in the comments. He's such a lazy ass. But no, it's fine. These, I'm going to tell you really quickly about why I like these to target now, and it's because I think New Capenna Collector is going to be one of the worst performing collector products, in my opinion.
Why is that?
I think it's going to be there with Theros Beyond Death, and I think it's going to be there with like the core set one. I think that the Gilded Foil is a fun gimmick, but I don't think that there's enough really in this set to move the needle. And the gimmick isn't big enough, like in Ikoria, for example, where you had Godzilla cards. You have an IP that's outside of MTG that's also driving a product here. When you have these triomes essentially pop up in this product, now is a good time to get them, because I don't think a lot of people are going to continue opening specifically the collector product of Capenna. I don't think it's going to appreciate like a lot of the other collector products, because you have Strixhaven, which has a really good gimmick with the Mystical Archive. You have Ikoria, which has a really good gimmick with Godzilla. Neon Dynasty has the Neon Ink cards that people are chasing. But I think that Capenna really, it ends at the triomes. I think the gilded cards are cool. Like I would pick up Raffine Gilded. There's some fun gilded cards to pick up. But, and no, nothing on this channel is financial advice. But really, I just have to say, like, yeah, I think like get these now. I would say just like pick them up, because you're going to want them for your collection, and not a lot of the other stuff in the set is super crazy. I'm not saying there aren't going to be breakout cards. Sure. I think that there are going to be breakout cards. I think that the Gilded Foil is really cool. I think it looks really attractive.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's sick. I really do. I think it looks great. And some of those commanders might really pop up. But I don't think like the Etched Obnixilis is like enough to be like the big chase card. You know, like where you have like, even like Throne of Eldraine had the Great Henge and Oko and all these crazy cards. A bunch of them end up getting banned. But I don't know. I just think that this collector product kind of falls flat. And especially when I'm seeing set booster products that are opening Anointed Procession and Vampiric Tutor. So when the set booster box is not only cheaper, but you're opening Eternal cards that you can't find in the new Capenna collector booster, the set booster box ends up being like way more attractive, especially because it kind of looks like they seeded it in such a way where it's like, wow, we're seeing a lot of Vampiric Tutors. We're seeing a lot of Anointed Processions, and Sakashima's Student. Isn't that one of them, I believe? And then, I don't know. I'm just saying. And that might be anecdotal, but it's just my opinion.
Outside of the value of the boxes, look at the trend of the Triomes over time. Here, right after release, look at this initial. This is the important part right here. It starts at the pre-order price, and then it collapses. And then watch
we
these.
Didn't necessarily know their power level. That's worth noting. We didn't necessarily know how much Commander would want them.
Look, August, September, October of last year, we're still living under the $10 mark. We don't cross that $10 mark until March of 21, February of 21. But then ever since then, we go, oh crap, when are these going to be reprinted? Jake, outside of you think the collector booster is not going to do as well, so fewer are going to be opened, and you're not going to get to see as many versions of the showcase Rafine's Tower, which look right now, doesn't that kind of look like the pre-order price into the collapse? But
it does. It does.
I'm telling you, you've also got the reprint problem on top of that. When do we ever see Rafine's Tower? We don't see Rafine's Tower on Dominaria. We don't see Rafine's Tower on Ravnica. We've got to be at Capenna for them to reprint this.
Or something
Secret
like
Lair,
that.
maybe? That's it. I just think that, yeah, these are real estate and MTG across the board is always very safe. And I think all of Jake's points on top of Rafine's Tower just being an unreprintable name, unreprintable card, and they're not going to drop a Secret Lair version of some cards that they are still in production on. How long are Streets of New Capenna cards going to be printed? A while.
Right.
It's not going to go away tomorrow. Not going to go away in 6 months. So yeah, I mean, at $10 right now, this is honestly, to me, Jake, very akin to us preaching buy your fetch lands now, because in 2 years people are going to be complaining about fetch lands again, and we're just going to point back to the 8 videos that we made on the subject.
I just think that this is going to be a low performing collector product, despite the gilded foil, which looks really cool and really beautiful, and despite having these triomes. It's a standard set, and the standard sets, we can't even compare them to like Modern Horizons 2 or Commander Legends that has like Jeweled Lotus and Mana Drain and Vampiric Tutor and that kind of stuff. Thanks for that $2 super chat, Mr. DJ Longhair. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, it really comes down to real estate is always good. So all of that to say, Joel, what's your $10 level?
My $10 level is a little card that everybody was so hyped on because it was so unique. And it is unique. It's a 5-color commander. It's called Goshintai of Life's Origin. If you haven't picked yourself up the set booster exclusive of Goshintai of Life's Origin,
not financial advice.
Be aware. No. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying be aware. This card has fallen under $10.
Okay, so this is a set booster exclusive. It doesn't appear anywhere else.
Correct. If you will look at the current date as we shoot this video, as we stream this topic, May 18th. Look at that little all-time low right there. What are we seeing?
Look at it. It looks like an IPO release. Initial public offering card comes out at an all-time high of 52, and then it tanks like so many new stocks.
Right. And look, this is not a card that you're like, oh, I'm only playing, I guess if I want a Shrine Tribal deck, I'll play Goshintai of Life's Origin. No, bro. 5 mana, tap it, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Forget the rest of the text. This is a 5 mana enchantment deck. You can play shrines if you want to. How about just a 5-color enchantment deck? These 5-color decks, they withstand the test of time. These 5-color commanders, a lot of them, if they're worth a crap. I just think Goshintai is always going to be a viable 5-color enchantment deck option, or the literal only shrine commander option. Not literal only, but like, come on. You're creating the 1/1 shrines. I've played against this deck so many times. It overruns. It overruns so fast.
the way that I would build this is I would build it in such a way where I'm like kind of looting through the deck and just tossing big enchantments in the yard, like pitch Omniscience, right?
Yeah.
And then like just ramp up, go grab it. I think it's casual, but I do think that the risk is low, especially coming out at $50 and then tanking down below 10.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
This is the kind of like hype price up here. These pre-ordering for above $30 for the first 4 or 5 days it's out, and now we're under 10 with it. I just want people to be aware, a very cool commander that we have since, I think Neon Dynasty came out
definitely unique.
5 years ago. Neon Dynasty came out 5 years ago or 6 years ago. It was sometime 1,000 products ago. Go Shintai.
Bro, 5-color big enchants is what I would do. It would be a super casual 5-color big enchants, like all the big splashy stuff.
Right.
Yeah, man. It's fun. It's fun. And you know what? I think fun is always a good thing to keep in mind, is like,
exactly.
Is it fun?
Right.
You know?
Chat, I saw some good options over there for the $10 budget out of y'all. One of my favorite ones that I saw is Devilish Valet. This is a card that you're talking about fun, Jake. This card is like a win con. Some of the extended versions of this, foil versions of this, are much more expensive, but I like that suggestion for sure because I think this card is super fun.
I think Devilish Valet is really good, and it's funny, I think I have a little what I'm buying coming out here in the next few days. But I did
Devilish Valet feature on that.
I think I grabbed I grabbed 4 foils of it because I do think that it's a card that has some legs.
Yep.
4 foil Devilish Valet that I just happen to have right here because I have all of my Capenna pickups. I've picked up some Ascendancies. There are some cards that I think are good in the set. You know, I don't want to just crap on Capenna. I think that the charms are fun. Any modal spells are always good and worth considering.
When there's some really good options for 3-color commanders in the set too. So the premium versions of those 3-color commanders are going to go for much higher.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
So now, Joel, you need to start out the next tier, and then we go back and forth. Yeah.
Chat, if you had a good eye there for a second, I went ahead and pulled it up. But right now, copies of the foil promo version of Vampiric Tutor have fallen off a little bit price-wise. And I think that it is a really good time to pick up a unique version of a staple card. Vampiric Tutor.
This was circa Ixalan times when this came out, because it's like a pirate kind of thing going on.
Exactly. You've got the pirate vampire thing going on. But right now, if I was just to drop, there's been some criticism in the past with this video series from me and Jake that people want us to pick a single card for the tier. So for this one in particular, my other tiers, I picked a couple of different things. But for this tier, I was like, I want to pick one card that is right at $100 right now. And Vampiric Tutor is it. I mean, obviously the card's power level can't be understated. Hugely powerful. Needed a reprint for a long time. This is the foil. It's always going to be foil. And it's the Judge promo version of this. So this is not going to be reprinted with this art. I doubt this art is ever used again. But Vampiric Tutor right now, I mean, you can get just a base level copy. Probably want to look at the Eternal Masters or the Commander Legends versions. But it's like a $30 card nowadays.
The list.
Right.
The list one that just came out. That's the one you want to...
Yeah, so it's got the Eternal Masters set symbol, but it's got the Planeswalker not watermark, but stamp down in the bottom left. About $30 will get you a Vampiric Tutor. Awesome card for really high level commander if you want to play that. A little more competitive choice for your deck as you're tuning towards fun or competitive. But this Judge promo, Jake, this is the kind of card that it fits, it checks all the boxes, right? Unique art, it's in foil, not going to be reprinted. It's just that bling version, and right at $100, that would be my choice.
Yeah, I think that that's a good one. You went with one card, and I went with five. And chat is already there with me. Again, I did see D Hammer set it $100, a full set of the borderless Capenna Triomes. So that's what I would really go with. I would go with the foil showcase That's
foil
what I would go
showcase
with. I
version.
would go with the foil showcase. They're all at around $20 right now. You can find them for like anywhere from like 15 to 20. I think it's the Art Deco frame that I'm talking about. Yeah, I think that's where I would go. That's where I would go.
You talking about this one here? The borderless different art version? Or are you talking about
no.
showcase?
I'm talking about the foil Art Deco frame. But I do, that this could be one of those where we split them in half.
Sure.
You could go with the non-foil version of the borderless ones.
Right. Because you've got these.
Or you could go with the foil version of each of the showcase ones, which is the Art Deco frame.
Yeah.
I would go with the foil of each of these. It's probably going to come out a little bit under the
yeah, I mean, near mint foil of Rafine's Tower right now selling for $13.69. We're seeing completed listings $13.75.
And
so
if you're
not
a commander
quite
player,
14.
you only need one of each.
That's right.
So just pick up those. I think those are fun. But I do like the call of the borderless ones as well. So D Hammer and I a little bit different there.
I mean, $11.
The
These are all under $13, $14. $12, $13 for near mint
it's
foils.
it's almost like a the showcase non-foils.
No, the showcase foils. These are the ones. These are selling these foils $12, $12.
Yeah,
$13.
and that's because there are so many different versions.
Right.
For me, I like the Art Deco frame. I also like the borderless frame as well. The borderless non-foil is probably what I'd go with. The borderless foil, you might have a little bit of even with my pick, it could curl, but you never know.
Sure.
Yeah, there's the near mint foil, so that's going to be outside of this tier.
Yeah, for sure. But anywhere in the lands, I mean, it just becomes the cadence. We feel like we talk about this with every set that's got a desirable rare land cycle.
You can tutor them.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's kind of how I feel, is like, if you can tutor them up, even if they come in tapped, I don't care. A lot of the time on turn one, I might play a fetch land, then I might not have a turn one play. And on those turns where I don't have a turn one play, I'm going to EOT grab one of my biggest mana fixers if I'm in 3-color. And it will be grabbing the Triome. So these are just a good cornerstone of any collection. I like the Lord Xander Gilded Foil. I like the Rafine Gilded Foil. But yeah for me, it's going to be the new Capenna Triomes, the full set of foil Art Deco frames.
You're looking at the set of new Capenna, since we've talked so much about the different variations within this set. This is the entire set, sealed included, market high to low. Seeing cards, we're looking at the showcase foil etched Obby Jake was talking about. Currently $173. Pretty cool. But then you get
the chase card.
Yeah, it's definitely the chase card. But then you get into these 3-color commanders, like we were talking about, are going to be so desirable for a long time because they're unique. They are 3 colors. It opens up it opens up how many cards you get to pick from for your deck. These gilded foil versions of these, 52, 67, 78. It's kind of funny. Xander's on the downslope of the prices of these. Rafine really getting up there. I bet that price is falling from where it was.
Looks good. It's a low mana value commander. The ward is really attractive, and then also it has looting built into it with Connive.
Oh yeah, and it's only 3 mana.
It's right, that low mana value, that 4-but. I like this card. I might eat crow on this and be completely wrong about these gilded foils, and I might be wrong about this product in the long term. I do think the gilded foils are very beautiful, but I just don't think that the set has the legs to be like, I don't know, a big, huge uptick in price. The Zendikar Rising,
right?
That had expeditions in the collector product. Neon Dynasty has Neon Ink in the collector product. Godzilla is in Ikoria. You have Mystical Archive and Strixhaven. And then the ones that don't have that big over-the-top gimmick that gets us into like some eternally playable cards in a way, they kind of like fall flat. And I don't even bring up Commander Legends or Modern Horizons 2 because those are in a different echelon all themselves. So it's
These graphs are crazy on these. I think we have seen a lot of the dip here. New Capenna is out now. It's in people's hands. Has been for 2 weeks now. Is that right? 3 weeks maybe?
Well, yeah.
And
this is what I would say is, well, New Capenna is out, and like an old booger, we're already flicking it away in anticipation of the new Magic the Gathering set that's going to be coming out in just a few days. New Capenna's been out 2 weeks, which means that it's essentially an old ancient dinosaur that nobody gives any kind of shit about. That's kind of...
That's your moist critical review.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
I saw what you were doing.
Pretty good, right?
All right, Jake, hit us with your $500 level.
All right,
Jake's
so
gonna be
I'm
like
probably
1,000 of the triomes.
All right, so $500. I would buy so many New Capenna triomes.
My 1,000 tier is all of the triomes you can find in a 20-mile radius.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna get some shit for this.
Let's go
tier, but you know what? That's okay.
Love that.
I would go, and this is just based on history.
Mine is 3 different cards, so let's go together. This
is based on history. The players, the people who bought Double Masters VIP packs at a good price and sat on them are not sad. Let's just say this. They are not sad. So what I would do is for $500, I would buy 8 packs of cards. I would buy 2 of the Double Masters 2022 collector boxes, 8 packs of cards, and it would be a hold. It would be a long hold. This is not to open. These are to sit on a shelf. Okay? I've already found some on Amazon that are around that $220 range.
This is so it's the 2022 Double Masters collector booster boxes.
Yep. I would get the collector booster box display. I would get 2 of them. It ends up being 8 packs, and I would do it just for the principle of this. I know that people are going to buy it. I know that they are. And I know that, like the first VIP product, it's going to end up appreciating in price, and people are going to pay an outrageous price for it in the future. I know that this set is going to be stacked like the first Double Masters.
Yep, here's a
and
buy
I might
now
be
for
completely
$234.
wrong, but I just think that even though it's ridiculous, even though it's absolutely ridiculous and over the top, I know that this product will appreciate in price.
How many packs are in this? How many packs is in one of these?
Only 4.
Oh
it's
God.
awful.
We have got,
dude, and I'm telling you, it's
Jake,
awful.
How many videos did you make, bro? How many videos did you make about those VIP packs? If you miss, you miss so hard. You miss.
You do
so hard.
But you do. But listen.
Oh my
you
God.
Do absolutely miss really hard. But the sealed of that has appreciated in price. Look up how much a single Double Masters VIP pack is.
Yeah, and you said that. You said that. I was trying to catch up to the thought of spending $500 on 8 packs of Magic cards, but you did say this is a do not open scenario here.
100%. This is a don't open it. It's a don't open it.
Double Masters VIP. Is that what you wanted to look up? Yeah, 190, 185. Let's look at some completeds.
And the thing is I remember buying a set of those for like $360 when they first came out.
Yeah, 190 plus 4 to ship, 140 plus 16 to ship, 168. These are sold. These are sold packs, so these are going. These are going.
Right. And it's because it has all of these unique treatments of cards, and we don't even know what's in this full set.
Right.
But I think that when it comes down to it, you know, that's 1 pack of cards. There are more cards in this than there are in the collector pack.
Right.
But I imagine the collector pack is going to in some way cut down on the chafe. You know, a lot of the cards you don't even care about in those VIP packs that you open up.
These are the only cards we have confirmed so far for Double Masters 2022. But they came out of the gate with some heavy hitters. Renin 6, $84. After 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, however many weeks it's been since that stream. I think it's only been a few days. But
look, the thing is I'm seeing chat saying it's only doubled in price, but doubling in price, 2xing your value is not a bad thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you, in theory, you were like, you know what? Double Masters 2022 collector is too rich for my blood, then what you could in theory do is buy 2 of them, not financial advice, open one for yourself, and then sell one later to recoup your cost basis. So I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I just know how Magic players are. You're going to have a bunch of people that hate on the product, and they're going to buy it anyway. That's what's going to happen. They're going to hate on it, and they're going to buy it anyway. And when we see some of the shit that they print in it, it's going to end up going up in price.
Yeah, I mean,
and also it's silver, black, and green, so it looks cool.
Brody makes, and that's how all these collector booster boxes should be judged, right? The color design. Brody makes a good point. 200% profit's very good for an investment, especially in 2 years.
Anybody who says it's a ripoff, you're absolutely right.
It is.
Any of the Magic product that you buy is a ripoff. You can buy the regular set. I'm just telling you what I would do because I like having a 2x return. That's
2x in 2 years too. I mean, 2020.
Yeah, 2x
not
return
even
is fine.
Years.
It's no Edgar Markov deck in 2017 off the Target shelf.
Sure.
But, whatever.
Hey, you're speaking to somebody who bought Edgar Markov, immediately opened it, sleeved it, and started playing with it.
Yeah, and you could probably still sell that deck back because I know that you like to keep all those together. You could probably still sell it back for profit.
Yep.
A lot.
I'm a pretty kind guy. Yeah, I mean, less than 2 years, 2x profit. I think at $500, that's an interesting call for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? That's one where we'll look back on it and be like, what did we get right? What did we get wrong?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I had $500 and I was like, I have to buy some Magic cards. Oh, I did have another thing on there as well. And it was just a light played Tundra from Revised. So everybody in chat who's hating on me for saying the Double Masters choice,
Revised
you can be
Tundra,
like,
baby.
Oh, but he would buy a light played Tundra.
Yeah, look at this. That's pretty on the money too. Light play, 518 completed, 450. There you go, chat. Yeah. There's your one card. There's your one card from Jake. Non-speculative. Tundra is never going down in price.
Yep. That's it. A light played copy.
I wonder if there's any. Here's a light played that sold for $469. Nice. I just want to see what the picture looks like on it. Oh baby. Oh baby. That's a good looking Tundra right there.
Yepers.
That is a good looking Tundra right there.
It's funny. I traded a Lion's Eye Diamond and a Masterpiece Lightning Greaves for a Tundra a couple years back, and it was a pretty even trade at the time. I ended up getting the Tundra and then some of the Horizon lands from Modern Horizons. Who cares? Whatever. But the trade now is the Mox, the LED and the Tundra are pretty much the same, and the Lightning Greaves have just crept up so much that I am definitely behind on this trade, and I do miss those Lightning Greaves a lot.
I mean, even in the 6 month snapshot, I mean, you're talking about a difference of, $20, $30, but yeah, they've been going up over time.
I did that trade maybe 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years. It was pre-COVID. So you could see the Greaves were probably much less.
All right, so here's my $500 tier. You ready for this?
Yeah, Joel, let's do it.
It's going to be 3 different cards, so I need somebody to help me with the math here. But card number 1 is 2XM Borderless Foil Force of Will. Right now, you can get this for less than $300. Sorry. Yeah, right around $300. Look at this. 278 Force of Will Borderless Foil. Boom, right there. 278 plus $1 to ship. Is $1 to ship enough on this card? I don't know, but that's what they're charging. So that's card 1. I did a little double masters thing here, Jake. Next, I want to look at Blight Steel Colossus. So with my 2XM Force of Will, I also want to get a foil borderless Blight Steel Colossus. You're looking at about 130 on that. Near mint foils selling for 128, 120, 114. Near mint foils of a wildly playable commander card. Always going to have a home for a Blight Steel Colossus in a deck. And then to round out the little set that I'm sure people are going to be like, you should have only picked 1 card. But I picked 3 and I did a double masters thing. It's a double masters package. We're also going foil borderless exploration. because
All right, so you didn't go reserve list. You went
No.
with some nice extended art variants.
some variants that I think are 3 commander staple-ish cards: Force of Will, Blightsteel Colossus, Exploration. These are at good prices right now, and I mean, look at that graph. Are they the best prices ever? No. Exploration was at one point like $29, but 29 to 40 is not that big of a jump, and you can still get these foils for about that price.
Yep.
Light play foil, $33. Let's see what a light play foil looks like from Redwood's MTG. Yeah, not bad. Playable copy. There you go. You're in the money.
Yeah, there you go.
And these are the kinds of art that you're not going to see a lot. That Force of Will art, we're not going to see. I mean, even this Wayne Reynolds version of Blightsteel Colossus, we're not going to see a reprint of that art specifically. I would highly doubt it, because this was a premium card in a premium product. They really don't want to step on consumers' toes by taking this beautiful Scott Fisher piece on the Force of Will borderless from the first Double Masters. They don't want to reprint that. We need more copies of Force of Will.
Yeah.
But right now, around $500 is going to get you foil borderless versions of all Force of Will, Blightsteel Colossus, and Exploration from Double Masters. I also think there's going to be a little uptick as we move closer to Double Masters 22. I think you're going to start seeing people want to go back and be like, oh, what Double Masters cards did I forget? I should go ahead and pick those up now. So that's what I would be looking at right now, is these premium singles right before we get a new version of the set.
Yeah, there's always that kind of thing where, I can describe it like Tarmogoyf, before Tarmogoyf fell from grace.
Right.
And it became a fair card instead of a busted card. You had a lot of people that were like, I'll never own Tarmogoyf.
Right.
But then you open a Tarmogoyf, and then you're all of a sudden like, oh, well, and now there's more. I could trade for one. And maybe I just buy the last 2, and now I have 4. So like with the new Double Master set, you're going to have people that open it, like you're talking about. And what they do is they might go ahead and they might say, well, I'm going to buy one of these borderless cards.
Yep.
And now, yeah, maybe I do go back to the original Double Masters and see what I missed from there. That's kind of how the hive mind works in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. You want to get ahead of those trends. You want to get ahead of what they're going to be looking back toward.
Right. Like you have some people that maybe opened an expedition in Battle for Zendikar of, like an Arid Mesa or something. And then they're like, oh man, I didn't think I'd own any of these expeditions. And now all of a sudden they're buying the other 3 so that they can have a full tricked out set of them. Right. So it's, it depends, because there's so many variants these days that really you could just, by the time, 10 years down the road, there's probably going to be 10 more different variants of Force of Will,
Oh, yeah. 100%. But those variants, if you want that Fisher art, if you want that Wayne Reynolds art, I mean, we just got a secret layer offered to us specifically of all Wayne Reynolds' take on dwarves. These premium artists delivering these premium pieces for these premium cards. I just think it's a good time to look back at those and grab some of those before they really start popping off, if they're cards that you want. If you trust the
Joel,
foils.
why don't you tell us about your $1,000 level?
$1,000 level, very straight up, Jake. I think that I sort of missed the boat on buying boxes of the very first Commander Legends. I have a lot of faith in Commander Legends sets as long-term sealed holds, because you can either, one, in 5 years, 10 years, go grab a booster box of it and have a draftable commander set with your friends that is D&D themed, or you can sell it to somebody who wants to do that. At $100 right now, honestly, I would just start trying to find those $95 versions, those $95 boxes of this Commander Legends booster product. And honestly, right now, I would even lean towards set boosters, because I think that draft set boosters, both are going to deliver a really good experience. Plus, you're going to get the list. Plus, you're going to get some of the visual upgrades on some of the slots in the booster pack. I think right now that as this set comes out over the next month or two, you're going to see sellers being like, oh, we'll sell you a case for an average of like 92 a box. Oh, we'll sell you a case for an average of 90 a box.
Yeah.
That is where I would jump right now if I was going to spend $1,000 just to put these away.
So 9 of these boxes, if you were spending $1,000 and you were buying them from TCG Player right now, 9 of them,
right,
$1,000.
Exactly. Hold myself, reuse, hold for resale later. Is it going to reach the same level of Commander Legends? Very doubtful. Commander Legends the very first one came with some real big hits as far as reprints go. Came with some real big hits as far as original cards in that set go. Jeweled Lotus, any of the mythic partner commanders that you want.
Sure.
And you had premium versions, foil etched, these kinds of versions of some of the major reprints in there. Had Vampiric Tutor in there. It's not going to reach that same level because it's all D&D themed. We've seen the preview for this. I think that preview, the way they did Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate preview video, was to very specifically say, hey, look, this is going to be fun, but this isn't going to be Commander Legends 2. I think that we're going to still get Commander Legends 2 one day. But Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, I think it's still going to be a fun experience. The draft experience was dirtily but fun. And I do think there are going to be cards in here that people want long term that have to do with dungeons, that have to do with rolling dice, this kind of stuff. These mechanics, you're going to have to look to an AFR set, D&D set to get those cards.
You know, I have to say that, we just haven't seen enough of the set yet.
For sure.
So we don't exactly know like what the big over the top heavy hitter cards are.
Absolutely. And they might still exist, but that just adds sugar to what I think is already going to be a pretty sweet deal, which is an awesome experience in a box that people either you're going to want or that people are going to want to buy off of you.
Yeah. And these boxes come with how many packs really quick? These are
set booster box.
The set booster box.
18 packs in a set booster box. If you want to go a draft, you're going more than that. Whoops.
If it's a draft box, it should be 24, like I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
24.
So it is worth noting 18 packs in that product.
Yep. In the set booster product. That's
draft box has 24 because it's for drafting.
It's for drafting, right.
Well, I guess I should get into my $1,000 tier, right?
Absolutely.
All right, this is pretty simple, and it's kind of funny because it's a little bit in line with what you were talking about with why you would go with the Force of Will and stuff from OG Double Masters. I actually picked, and it's funny because we talked about it a little bit earlier in stream, I went with the Masterpiece Soul Ring. And the reason I went with the Invention Masterpiece Soul Ring, if I had $1,000 it burning a hole in my pocket, I don't think they will ever go back to that way of doing things. I don't think they'll ever go back to you can find a near mint one under 1,000, I'm pretty sure. And the reason I don't think they'll ever go back to this is because it was such an unpopular way of doing treasure cards.
Right.
It was like, we're just going to seed them in boxes, people are going to open them in mass, and then these boxes are going to be worth like nothing. Now, granted, some of the speed lands that were in Kaladesh have gone up in price. You have Authority of the Councils and a few other cards like Panharmonicon and I think Aetherflux Reservoir that came out of Kaladesh that do have value, but they'll never go back to the inventions.
No,
they're just, it'll never pop up as a secret layer. I think it would be really tasteless if they were just like, well, let's just do an invention secret layer and reprint Soul Ring. They might do an invention secret layer, but they'll never just reprint this card as is.
Well, and I think this was an experimental time. They know what they're doing. They're not going to put a card in a secret layer that's $1,000 card and sell it for $100. That ain't happening.
Right, exactly. Ben McGraw says inventions and booster packs were so cool. I think they were too, but the problem is that it tanked the entire set.
Right.
Like everybody just opened it in mass trying to find inventions, and the set has no value outside of that. So it's a very unattractive set to open. But you know, that's the thing about Foil Quest is like, and that's the thing too, is there's so many of them, right? So it's like, if you are lucky enough in like 1 in 4 boxes to pull an invention, it has to be the right one. You don't want it to be, you know, whatever. I'm talking about like regret from not buying a Soul Ring for 200.
This would be such
a bummer. And then I do feel like this Soul Ring ends up being like $1,500 or $2,000 when it, like, down the line we really see, you know, Wizards of the Coast, they can print every Soul Ring under the sun. None of them are going to be as rare as this one.
You're put yourself in this mind space. You're in a Foil Quest Kaladesh. You slow roll it. You see the invention frame. You open it up. It's a black vice.
Right. Exactly.
You're looking at a $42 card versus, you know, even the 4th most expensive one is $425.
Right. So in Kaladesh, and this has all the best ones. Like, there's some good ones from Aether Revolt.
Right.
But it's like, you got the Soul Ring, you got the Mana Crypt, you've got like the best ones are in Kaladesh. So it's like, yeah, that's what my $1,000 tier would be. And it would specifically be because it's a card that happened before collector products, pre-variant variant. It's extremely hard to find. It's the #1 most played card in Commander, and it's beautiful. It's a great card.
Here's a creased copy that sold for $700. That's pretty
like, how
fun.
do you fuck that up and crease that thing? Oops, I dropped it out of my deck and stepped on it.
Yeah,
with both feet.
That's a good pick, man. This is one of those cards where anytime anybody's like, oh, I've got a Masterpiece Soul Ring, I'm like, let me see, please. I would like to look at it. I would like to see the baby. It is a it is a very cool card. It's a very cool version of a very good card. Everybody, that is our 10, 100, 500, and 1,000 tier picks for the month of May in the year of 2022. Let us know in the comments how we did. Let us know what you would be picking as those options. Honestly, you might see yourself pop up in a what you're buying video because we pull comments from this series to make the what you're buying version of the videos.